Thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Welcome, listeners, to episode 186 of the Massenomics podcast, the lifting podcast about nothing. We've got a cool one in store for 186, but first, let's hear from our sponsors. Today's episode is brought to you by Spud Inc. The goal of Spud Inc. straps is to make products that support sports performance and help everyone achieve their training goals. They make products that last forever, won't bust your budget, and most importantly, leave no doubt about success when everything is on the line. Check them out online at spud-inc-straps.com. This episode is also brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method. They're your one-stop shop for all things fitness and online coaching. Whether your goals are training related, nutrition and body composition related, or both, Hybrid has a program for you. With dedicated and experienced coaches in each strength and fitness discipline, you can rest assured that you're in the best hands possible. Use code MASS in all caps for 5% off any training or nutrition memberships for the life of your membership. Visit hybridperformancemethod.com. Today's show is also brought to you by Lifting Large. Lifting Large is your one-stop online shop for powerlifters, strongmen, Highland Games athletes, CrossFit athletes, and anyone that lifts iron. Visit liftinglarge.com today. There's free shipping on any orders over $60, and 99% of the orders are shipped the same day that they are placed. Thank you to our sponsors. We'll hear a little more from them about in the middle of the show. But like I said, this is episode 186. Your two hosts are back again, same as always. Myself is Tanner, and to my left, Tommy, we've got a few important topics to talk about today. We're going to cover USAPL Raw Nationals that went down. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about who's been copying Massenomics most recently.
Yep, always somebody.
We're going to talk about famous people that are purchasing Massenomics gear.
More and more every day.
We're probably going to hit some of our favorite segments. What's in the can? Do we have one of those? What's in that can?
We might.
There's going to be overrated, underrated, of course. We maybe even a couple other ones, depending on where we land on time. Mm-hmm. Could be a surprise of what segments get thrown in.
It is the most valuable resource, time. And, with all of the action-packed things we have, sometimes we just run out of it.
That's true. It's the one commodity that we can't buy more of with our Lift Shorts money.
That is what they say. Lift Shorts money can get you anything but time.
That's right. If you could buy time, the one thing that could afford it is that sweet, sweet Lift Shorts cash.
It is. That would be the one to do it. Yeah. Absolutely.
We've been low on Lift Shorts inventory right now, so we're out of a few sizes right now. Are trying to get an extension, an increase on our operating line of credit so we can afford to be able to purchase another few pairs.
We just walked into the bank with a bag of Lift Shorts and like, what else? This is all the collateral you need. What else do you want to see from us?
They're like, oh, you're the Lift Shorts guys? Yeah. Come on into the vault.
You guys can swim around in this money if you want.
So that's what's in store for the episode. Is there anything else in
the world of things?
Yeah, in the world of things that we do.
The world of things we do. I don't. Have you? What have you been listening to for podcasts lately, Tanner? Besides the Massenomics podcast, anything new and or exciting?
Not necessarily new. I'm stuck on a lot of my old favorites. The one lifting podcast that I have been listening to a little bit lately that's new to me is Stronger by Science, and that's with Greg Nuckols, who just did a Massenomics rookie card about this week.
Yeah, you were actually telling me about this podcast the other day.
Stronger by Science with Greg Nuckols and Eric Trexler, I believe is the other host's name. Mm-hmm. And they're both really smart, but they also have some pretty humorous segments. They have segments in their podcast and they talk about segments.
Is the hallmark of a great podcast.
I'm like, wow, I can appreciate that. But they also are very intelligent. So it depends on what topic they're talking about, but some of it can be really interesting. Mm-hmm. But they're also, they know so much and know so much of the science and all that stuff. It's a little bit different. It's obviously a lot different than what we're doing here.
Yeah.
But we do overlap on the segment idea, and they've got some funny segments. So I like what they're headed with there. Yeah. Besides that one, in the non-lifting world, nothing really new. I did. I can't even remember the name of it now, but I listened to one that was quite a bit about the college entrance scandals, like the Full House mom and everything there.
Whatever the hell. I can't even remember her name now. Even.
And I can't remember the name of the podcast. And it was actually a recommendation I saw from Chad Wesley Smith.
Oh.
And I listened to it. It's a really popular one, and it was pretty good too. It was kind of all about this guy that they interviewed that was, or that they were trying to interview that was like the guy you call when you need to get
the score fixer.
Yeah. It was
Okay.
it was really about him, and it was pretty interesting.
Wow.
But I can't even tell you the name, so that's not all that helpful if you're wanting to listen to it.
I'm sure you could Google it and figure it out pretty easy.
How about you?
As I'm a latecomer to the game here, but I've been hitting the Joe Rogan podcast hard lately.
Yeah.
And I had spent a long time not going near that at all.
Yeah.
And I've been really banging him out lately, but he's had some good guests, and I mean that is completely to me 100% what that show is dependent on.
The guest
is who the guest is. If the guest isn't someone that interests you, like don't waste your time. But like just lately, like looking through the list ones, like Edward Snowden today. Do you remember him, Tanner? He was the guy.
He's
releasing
the
all the
whistleblower. Or whatever.
Like that one was kind of crazy. Had Richard Dawkins on. He's kind of this famous sort of like atheist type guy. It's just an interesting one. Evander Holyfield the other day. That one was surprising hearing him talk about things. Kind of reminds me of the Waterboy because he refers to his mama nonstop. Everything
Mama
is about
said,
his mama.
said.
It's my
Did
mama.
they talk about Tyson altercation
they
very
didn't
much?
talk about that.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing was, and I'm not a boxing guy like at all. I mean, when that happened, I think I was in second grade when his ear got bit off.
Yeah.
But he's like, oh, I was so mad at him. I wanted to go out there and bite his ear. But I remembered as a kid that when you retaliated, you were the one that got caught. And he's like, so I didn't do. And then
It's pretty.
yeah,
That's a good.
and then he's like, and then
good lesson.
wherever they were at, I'm sure the fight was in Vegas. I don't even remember what he said, but he
right.
said that their hotel rooms were right next to each other, and they didn't know it. And the day after the fight, they both come out of their room, and they're coming out of the room at the same time, and it's just him. And he said they go over to the elevator, and they get in the elevator together, and he's like, we were basically like, nah, we're cool. And they said they came down.
That's crazy.
They said they came down, and all these people are standing outside the elevator, and those two came out, and everyone's like, how are you guys not killing each other? So that was good. One other thing he said, he's talking about his house. So I'm sure boxing in the 90s, being Evander Holyfield, he made stupid amounts of money.
Yeah, right, for sure.
So he's talking about he's building this house, and I think he said this mega mansion. I think he said it was 60,000 square feet, so just insanely large. And Joe asked him how much it ended up costing him, and he said, well, it ended up costing a lot more than it was supposed to. I think he said, what did he try? It was supposed to build it for like 10, I think. It ended up costing 20 million, so way more. And he's like, and then he ended up selling it eventually, and he's like, and I sold it at quite a bit of a loss. He goes, what'd you sell it for? He goes, 5 million. He's like, whoa. And he's like, but that's how it goes. You learn lessons. He goes, do you know the guy who has it now? Yeah, this rapper named Rick. He goes, Rick Ross? He goes, yeah, they still invite me over for parties, and they refer to it as my house still. But it was just like hearing it, like, people being at like the prime of kind of what you would call like, I mean, physical.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as athletes go in the 90s, he's as big as they get.
Yeah, right. For
so
sure.
hearing him talking. And then there's just been a lot of other interesting guests. So that's been the one I've been hitting hard lately. But there was one other one I heard it was somewhat interesting, good for a long car trip. I believe it was called Garage 88. And it was this guy it's like a nursing home in California. He's been on life support there for 20 years, like in a coma.
Yeah.
And no one knows his name, where he's from, how he got there, a thing about him. So this reporter starts like looking into like, who the hell? They don't even know his name. He has no idea. They just call him Garage 88 because supposedly like that was like the garage they took his car to, and after they found him in this crash in the California desert. And so this reporter tries to figure out like, who is this guy? And it's it's a fairly, I think it's like 4 or 5 episodes, about a half hour each. So as far as podcasts go, you get through that in a hurry. But it's an entertaining one if you got a little time. So
that does sound interesting.
I would recommend that to people too.
That does sound interesting. I might have to check that out. I'm sure I'll forget the name of it 10 minutes after we walk away from here. And I'll be like,
I honestly, I don't even know if that was the right name, but if it's not, it's very, very close to the right name.
Have you ever seen the show Peaky Blinders, or have you heard of it at all? It's a Netflix
heard of
show.
It. Yeah, I haven't seen it though.
My wife and I have been watching Peaky Blinders.
What is it?
takes place shortly after World War I in England, and it's gangsters, basically. Like I would call them gangsters. The name of their gang is the Peaky Blinders, and it has, I don't know the actor's name. The main character is on the first Christian Bale Batman, what you call Batman Begins or whatever that is. The guy that plays the Scarecrow.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know his name.
He's the main actor. Very good in there. And then actually a degree of separation as I think of it now. Also the guy that plays Bane. Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy is in the show too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's pretty good. It's very good actually.
Might have to check
I really
that one
like
out.
it. Yes. It's very, very interesting. I won't say much more than that because it's all that needs to be said, but it is a good it is on my recommendation list right now.
Okay. Oh, and since you did say Netflix, I did watch El Camino. Did you watch El Camino?
I haven't
yet?
seen it yet.
El Camino, for people that don't know, is the Breaking Bad ending movie, if
Yeah.
you want to call it that, or it's the kind of the epilogue to the Breaking Bad series.
Mm-hmm.
And watching it totally reminded me how much anxiety Breaking Bad gave me
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
Like I remember specifically like a 2 or 3 week period of my life where I went through like this funk because I would go to work, I would come home, binge Breaking Bad, and all I'm doing is watching people basically watching
stuff, yeah.
terrible things happen in their lives, like their loved ones are dying.
Yeah.
The cops are on the verge of tracking them down and throwing them in jail for the
All
rest of
the
their
time.
life. And just it's pretty much nothing but bad things happening.
Yeah.
And it totally brought me back to that of like, oh God, that was a stressful time to be.
Yeah.
Still, don't get me wrong, one of my favorite shows of all time, but it gets tough to watch after a while. And it took me right back to that.
Was it a problem at all? What I've been wondering is that it's been, how many years has it been since you watched Breaking Bad?
Whenever the last
Yeah,
season
okay.
aired, or whenever the last episode aired, that was the last time I watched.
So was that
Breaking
an issue that you didn't remember stuff, or does it do a good
Bad.
job of?
It doesn't. I didn't think it was an issue. It took me pretty much right
Yeah.
back into, and I mean, it's really focused on Jesse.
That's what I was going to ask. Is it kind of about Jesse?
It's
then?
about
What-
Jesse.
Yeah.
It's not going into remember this from season 4 when
Yeah.
there's none of that. It's just Jesse, and you get him for 2 hours.
Okay.
And it's like the nostalgia. It's
Yeah.
like takes you back. It's like God, 5 years ago when I was
Yeah.
watching, like that was a different person then.
Yeah.
Like who was that guy? And
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I recommend it if you're a fan of the Breaking Bad series.
I need to watch it
you
still.
have to watch it.
Did you ever watch It's All About Saul? I don't even know if that's the name of the
Better
show.
Call Saul.
Better Call Saul.
I
yeah.
haven't seen
Yeah.
a single episode of it.
Okay, me either.
It
Yeah.
was I'm just like, well, I don't think it's going to top Breaking Bad,
No,
so I'm just not
no.
going to. I'm not going to let it. It's supposed to be really good, but
I've never
to me
watched
that
it.
whole universe was done perfectly in Breaking Bad, so I don't
Yeah.
need to. I don't need to
It
see
was
anything
over.
else.
Yeah.
It was over. That is how I felt.
One of the things I touched on in the beginning, I want to mention before we forget about it. Did you see who was copying Massenomics here now?
It has been brought to my attention.
Yeah, that we have the black on black lift shirt, one of our iconic shirts,
A
of course.
staple in anyone's inventory wardrobe.
And Miller Lite came out with a can that looks almost identical to our logo.
I mean, even to the fact that they did the slightly lighter imprint on the darker can.
Yeah.
Someone in the creative department is.
What is that? A limited? I never really looked at it.
I
But
couldn't quite understand what it's if it's part of some campaign. I don't really.
Yeah,
I didn't look at it
yeah.
hard enough, but
it really does look It really reminds you of our shirt, though, when you look at that can.
the whole Massenomics did it first. Thing,
Yeah,
right?
I don't know when those guys are ever going to come up with an original idea over there.
Well, until then,
Yeah,
they'll just keep looking.
I guess we'll just be everyone's inspiration for now.
That's the role we play.
Yeah.
That's what we got to do. Tanner, I'm getting very thirsty.
Oh, yes. You came to the right segment then.
I'm going to want you to
Not look at the...
not look at this can, Tanner.
But I always forget, can I look at the koozie?
You can, of course,
Oh.
look at the koozie.
That's a good koozie.
Take in the koozie for all it's worth. But man, I'm getting thirsty right now. I am happy to report. I think last week at this time I had mentioned that I was feeling maybe a little under the weather. Not at my best.
Are you above the weather now?
I'm above the weather, not maybe as far as I want to be, but
Yeah.
I really didn't think that minor sickness was going to put me down as hard as it did. And
well, and you said you've been lifting this week though too. Mm-hmm. How does the lifting feel and coming off the cold?
Lifting feels much better. Like last week, it was even when I tried to, I thought, I'm getting better, and I went in and it's like, nope, lightheaded, feel super weak, and this sucks. Oh, Tanner's taking the first sip. What could it be? What could it be, Tanner?
I think I know what this is. Would I know what this is?
You could.
Yeah. Let me try that again. It's been a while since I've had it, actually, but it's a LaCroix, obviously.
Okay. We got that one down.
Yeah, but I think it's a LaCroix I know well. But let me take one more sip to just before it. I'd hate to guess this and not be right. Is it the Pamplemousse?
This is actually the peach pear.
Oh,
I hit you with the same one, Tanner. It was a trick question.
I knew it was familiar to me. It's because it was. Is this the one we did last week?
We did this last week. Yeah. Pulled the quick one.
It did throw me off.
I'm just thinking it will be interesting.
Yeah.
First off, I was thinking, I just want something to drink. So I'll just grab these. I'm like, well, I'll spring the game on him and see what his mind comes up with.
It was
because he's not going to think I'm going to hit him with the same one twice.
It is the peach pear again. And as soon as you say it, it's like, it is the peach pear.
It's the peach pear. But still tastes good this week. In case you needed to follow up.
The peach pear is good.
I actually got a LaCroix recommendation this week.
Oh,
straight to my inbox. A friend of the podcast, Scott Dodds.
Oh, I've heard of him.
Recommended the raspberry cran flavor. I'm not sure what the official cranberry raspberry mix, whatever they actually call it. And I said, I'm like, damn, I've never had that one. It sounds really good because I do like raspberry flavored stuff. I like cranberry flavored stuff. And then he sent me a picture of the can, and then I remembered, I have bought this one before, and it does taste really, really good. But the thing that didn't quite do it for me is, for some reason, I had this stretch where it's like, it's a weekend, I'm going to buy a bottle of raspberry vodka. And it tastes like raspberry vodka. And not that I have I'm like, I got so sick I couldn't. That was never the case. It just makes me feel like I'm sipping on a mixie, and I'm like, I don't really want that feeling on a Tuesday night. If you like raspberry flavored things, I would definitely recommend that flavor. It's I do believe one of the stronger flavors too, but it just reminds me too much of alcohol, and I want that crisp, refreshing, sparkling water flavor.
Right. Speaking of friend of the podcast, Scott Dodds, he competed in his first ever strongman competition this last weekend.
He did.
I think he did really well. I think he probably said he's hooked now that he's going to continue to do more.
Yeah.
He did really well though. I know I can't remember all the events that he did. I know there's a keg medley, deadlift,
overhead,
yoke, an overhead. I think an axle. But he did really well on all of them, and I think I want to say maybe he got like 4th or 5th out of a big field of 12 or something.
Looked like there's a lot of people there.
He did say that day he was there, and the Iron and Stone.
Yep.
It's
Iron and Stone Gym.
Or whatever. Yeah, that group. We met them at the Arnold here this last year. Really nice, good guys.
Swung by the booth a couple times.
Yes, and they took a picture of him put it on their story. He's wearing lift shorts, lift hat, lift shirt, and whatever the joke was, how does this guy afford? How do you afford to get here? Yeah, and we shared that on our story. And Scott, after the day was over, he says, there was 7 people that came up to me and said, I just saw you on the Massenomics.
Really?
Yeah. That everyone's like,
cool.
You're the guy from the Massenomics story.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. But congratulations, Big Scott.
Big Scott, as seen in the Massenomics story.
Yeah. as seen in.
Well, what do we want to talk about here, Tanner?
What about who was we teased it at the beginning also, who was buying Massenomics apparel?
We probably should discuss this.
Yes.
So I mean, it wasn't The Rock. We'll get that
No.
one out of the way. It was
No,
not The
it
Rock.
was
He's
not The
still
Rock. That's
still
the
holding
white
off.
whale.
Yeah, he's still holding off for now.
Yeah.
I would assume within the next 3 to 6 months he will be buying, but
Yeah.
he's not at that level yet.
No, he's thinking about biting though. He's been to the site a few times. and
He's been there. He just
Yeah.
he never completes his purchase.
Yeah.
He gets the reminder emails.
he has abandoned his cart a couple of times once he's.
Yeah, he has a hard time committing. He's like a lot of us.
Even
you know,
the Rock
he just-
can't afford the lift
Yeah,
shorts.
he just has to put it in his cart. Really think, am I ready
Yeah.
to do this? But yeah, he's just kind of a regular guy like everyone else.
Right.
But who actually did buy stuff from us, Tanner?
Dave Tate, completely randomly, just this week, he purchased something from our site, and when I saw that, I just about shit my pants. I was
That's
like,
one of
"Oh."
those. Like I saw the email come in, and I read like where it was going, and then I saw the name, and I was kind of like your brain kind of glosses
Yeah,
over it,
yeah.
and then you look at it again, you're like, really? Is that who it is?
Yeah,
But yeah, that's who it was, and I mean that's really really cool. As
Yeah.
someone that's people that are somewhat I say kind of loosely, but involved in the industry, and obviously we pay attention to what's going on, and we buy stuff from Elite FTS,
yeah.
and I mean you know who the real people are, and the people that have been around a long time, and who you think probably will be around a long time, and Dave Tate and Elite FTS definitely fit that category.
Yeah,
And
for
so
sure.
like to see him order something, it's like, damn, that's really, really crazy.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
he thinks we have something worth buying.
yes, and we've, there's been big lifters and stuff that have bought our stuff before, and it's cool all the time. But this is the biggest one where I've been like, holy shit!
Well, it was just like completely. It's like we have people all the time. Oh yeah, man. Oh, I'm gonna buy some stuff soon, and then like people will buy some stuff, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
But then just to have like this just drop in out of nowhere.
Yeah,
It's like, oh,
that was
something here is interesting to you, I guess.
Yeah, and like with Dave Tate, when I started like the very first lifting that I did 10 or more years ago at this point, I would read like the articles that he wrote that were on T Nation and stuff like that when I was 20 years old.
Yeah.
So to me, like, 12 years later or whatever, it's just a cool feeling where it's like, we have something now. And just like you said, and that guy said, I'll spend my money on that. And,
Yeah, it's hard to believe.
Yeah.
Like it really is. We had to.
and with our prices, it's a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, if Elite FTS isn't doing the best next month, we'll know why. But
Yeah. If the price of safety squat bars goes up.
it just skyrockets. Yeah. We'll know why.
So that was pretty sweet.
It was. It really was. Should we talk about some lifting now?
Yeah, we could talk about a little bit of lifting. I don't know why we wouldn't.
Just a little bit though, right?
We are
Not too
the
much.
lifting podcast about nothing, so I don't know why we wouldn't.
I should resituate my stuff here.
Your peach pears?
My peach pears, this computer.
Oh yeah, you're probably gonna want the computer for this one.
I gotta run the numbers over here, Tanner.
So we're USAPL Raw Nationals went on over about the last 17 days or so. I think that's how many days the meet runs on for.
USAPL Raw Nationals month. It's a season.
I think they had this. It was a record this year. They had 14,700 lifters, and they did it over the course of 26 days
Yeah, it's like a whole
with 12 platforms.
Yeah, it's turned into like this holy event.
Only the top 15,000 lifters can go.
People travel from across the land
Yeah.
to pay their respects and worship. In Lombard, Illinois.
Yeah.
Where the hell is that?
I don't know.
Is it by Chicago?
My guess is yes. I
Well,
wonder
Tanner,
is it a suburb?
We're gonna find out how good
Yeah.
your little guess is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
just a little west of Chicago.
Probably the most important thing or the coolest thing is we had a Massenomics gym member compete at Raw Nationals this week.
I did not know. So Dave,
Yeah,
competed.
Big Dave Cook competed in the 105 M1 class
I did
Masters
not
one.
know he was doing it until
Yeah.
all of a sudden I got snaps of him in the warm up room, and I'm like, really? Is that
Yeah.
where he's at right now? And I don't think he's spectating from the warm-up room. I think he's actually
he
competing.
competed in the M1 class.
Okay.
And he's actually getting pretty close to M2.
Is he?
Not far off. And when he is in Masters 2, he's probably going to be pretty really competitive
force
in
to
that.
be
Yeah,
reckoned with.
yeah. In the 105 M2 class, he could be right up there for getting on the old podium.
I would think. Yeah.
His meet in particular didn't go as he'd like to. I think he missed 2 squat attempts for depth, so he only got his first squat in.
Yeah.
But still, and he asked if he was gonna, the meet didn't go as he wanted it to, if he was still gonna be allowed at Massenomics gym after
Said,
his performance.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I said no, don't show your face around here ever again. But
we have a standard to uphold.
yeah, what I did tell him, I was like, well, you're the only one here that's competed at Raw
Raw
Nationals.
Nationals, yeah.
I think that's pretty cool. Like that, regardless of how you did, that takes some balls just to even compete there.
It does. So, okay, Tanner, did you watch anything like live stream of Raw Nationals?
I did not watch any live stream.
I did not catch any of it either. I was actually.
I was busy those 37 days.
I was going to say, I was busy for those days, but when I think about the number of days involved, it's hard to be busy for a whole month, but I was, in fact, busy for a whole month. So I only caught it on Instagram.
Yes, me too.
First takeaways, it looked like the venue was cool.
You did.
I still don't know if venue-wise, if anyone really brings it as far as just looking the part. You know,
Right.
Other meets, like, they look fine, but they look like what you expect a meet to look like. It's in a big hotel ballroom, and people come from behind a curtain and lift.
Yep.
And if it's really crazy, maybe lights are dimmed in certain spots, but that's about as good as it gets. Like, it's most aren't even. It's just the lights are on. You come out and you lift, and it's not like the setting. There's not much thought put into the design of the setting. Like
Right.
that's always an afterthought, and it's pretty obvious.
Yep, for sure.
And they had it was pretty cool. They had the big video board above the platform, which it looked really cool.
That did look cool.
It seemed like, from what I was seeing though, that it was like squishing people down a little bit. Like it seemed like people's
I didn't
proportions
notice it.
looked
Yeah.
a little off on it. And I don't know if that was just like a phone thing from the angle people were at, or just where the audience was at. It could do that,
Right.
Or if it really was. But one little thing I did notice.
Good idea though. Either way.
It is a good idea, and it looks like a real sporting event when you
Right.
start doing that. So I'd be totally on board with seeing more people do stuff like that. But like you did mention, Tanner, there was an enormous number of competitors.
Yeah.
You were throwing out some big numbers on open powerlifting. They have the results up already, and on open powerlifting they have 1,245 people listed.
Oofta.
So that's a lot of competitors.
For one meet.
And it's just raw. It's not even equipped or anything. It's
Right.
like just raw. And
That's just raw nats. That's raw nats for those of us
that is
that are
raw nats for those that care. I don't know. It still seems like too many people.
It is too many people. I think there's no way.
Like I don't know if you make it so like raw nats is only the open class.
Yes, definitely
That-
you do that.
like,
you
and-
make
and
the
may- and maybe-
make
and-
masters and teens it's a separate event.
Yeah, and there's juniors, and
Juniors
maybe
and-
it's you can still be entered in those events, but we're not going to have junior only and teen only meets. So it's like
No.
you can. This is the open meet, and if you want to be in other divisions, we'll mark that down, and that
Right.
that doesn't affect the meet. But to me, it seems like make it, if this is the premier event, just make it the open. This is
Yeah.
this is the open nationals,
Right.
And then just put the other ones in something else.
Yes,
you know,
that's the way-
doesn't that
is
seem
the
like it
right-
would make the most sense?
That is definitely what should be done.
Just.
To me, I mean,
And-
like to get rid of the circus thing.
Well,
of,
yeah,
you know.
and let the other one run. Put the other one a month before this or a month after. I
Yes.
don't care.
Dave said the warm up room was absolutely
absolute zoo.
insane.
Oh, it
Yeah,
looked like it.
He said it was the
It
worst.
looked like he was like in at a concert. Like
Yeah.
there's so many people piled in.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that's helpful for anyone that's there.
No.
And if you split into two, I'm sure there's just as much money to be made. Maybe not by this meet director specifically, but
Right, yeah, right.
Probably more people would even show up at the other ones if that was the case.
Right.
With the junior and teens and the masters and all of that.
Whatever else they want to call it.
But like when this is the qualifying one to go to Worlds, it seems like the focus here is on the open people.
It is.
Right?
Yes.
Right? That's
yes.
not a crazy thought. I don't
No,
think.
I think that's. I think most people. Can't imagine the argument against that unless
And then all of a sudden,
unless it's money involved.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, I mean, that's going to cut your competitors, I would think, like down hard.
Yeah, for sure.
And even then, if you wanted to, it's like, okay, maybe limit it to maybe the top 10 totals, like in each class that were recorded for that year or something like that. Like, that's not that crazy to do.
Right.
But probably will not happen anytime soon. So until then, we will have 12,000, 14,000.
Yeah.
14,000 people
14,700.
filling a stadium.
Over 3 months of one meet.
1/4 of a year. 1/4 of the population. Raw Nats.
You're cool if you say raw Nats.
I know, that's you got me hooked already.
Yeah, that's how you know if someone's kind of like gets it.
In the know.
It's like, oh, Nats. Okay.
Yeah. But as fun as it is to make fun of it, there is really impressive lifting that goes down.
I still like in my life, I think it'd be really fun to lift at raw Nats one time.
Yeah.
Like not to I mean, it's pretty exclusive. There's only 15,000 people a year that get to go. So.
But the other thing too is like it's one of the only powerlifting meets where there's competition outside of like 1 or 2 weight classes.
Yeah,
like
there's real competition in all the weight classes.
The other powerlifting meets, as fun as they are to watch, there's like not counting big dogs because there's not weight classes there. So
right.
There's
no weight classes in the jungle either.
There's not a lot of things in the jungle.
Wouldn't count that in the
usually
jungle.
not food in abundance.
Someone on I posted a video of me deadlifting, and it really made me laugh. I said, "There's no ACLs in the jungle."
Yeah.
It's just so stupid, but it just made me laugh. I'm like, "That's true.
That
I
is
guess
true.
maybe."
I did laugh the other day too. I saw someone said something like that, and someone also said, "There's no steroids in the jungle either." And I'm like, God, you got a point, man.
And then after a while, it's like, why are we comparing everything to what's in the jungle? Is that the measure?
I don't remember a lot powerlifting or lifting wise happening in the jungle ever.
No.
But whatever, to each their own. But Raw Nationals, though, the cool thing about it, and to my knowledge, no other meet outside, no other non-IPF meet has this going on, is where there's depth in the weight classes.
Right.
The U.S. Open, the tribute meet, Boss of Bosses. You're pretty much watching it to see like a couple of all-time world records maybe fall. And then there might be a competition between 2 guys at like the 220 class.
Yeah.
198.
Right.
Maybe super heavyweight. I mean,
And usually you're talking like 2 people.
Yeah. Like, we're talking like 2 guys.
Yeah.
And that's assuming if they both show up that day, make weight, and are feeling good, and they're not injured. Which again,
That's a lot of assumptions.
It is a lot of assumptions. So
Yeah.
to like actually see like depth in these things, it feels like, oh, it kind of is a sport. Like there's actual competition going on. You don't have to just show up and do you. Like you have to kind of pay attention to what the other guys are doing, and there is like an actual game to be played here,
Right.
Especially when it comes to like placing and the podium and all that. So I do think that is one of the coolest parts of it, is it
I think so.
actually brings some competition into the
Yes.
sport outside of I'm just competing against myself.
Probably doesn't take 1,200 people in order to fulfill that, but
Oh,
like
it doesn't. It takes 14,000.
yeah, yeah, right. So what? Like, we're not going to go over the results of all the 4,000 different
Well,
classifications, but
mixes of
like what? Let's just do like I'll say something that like a performance or something that is memorable to me, and then you can say one, and maybe we can go back and forth for a while. One thing that popped out to me: Lane Norton was back, and he hit a PR total for like the biggest total he's ever done, I believe, and a PR deadlift. Which is kind of, it shows obviously how much the sport's grown, because at the time he was like a national champion with his, and now he's setting a PR more than he did then, and I think he was a ways off of
well, yeah, because I'm on, this is also the most annoying thing, that it's so hard to find results that are like categorized in a way that make sense. But
right.
When I look at I'm on open powerlifting right now, and I'm looking at the results. Maybe they're better somewhere else on the USAPL website, wherever the hell that is. I don't know. But like looking at 231 people, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Lane Norton might have got like 12 or 13-ish. And it's like, this guy used to be considered, I think he was second best. I think he won a silver at Worlds.
Yeah.
You know, he had a 1780 total. In his weight class, the winner of that weight class, Bryce Lewis, you know, is pushing 1989. He was right at 2K.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's a long ways off.
And Lane that was a PR total for him in this meet.
I think that just like shows like how deep it is now. Like,
right.
It is hard to believe though. Like how, like for comparison, what did I say Lane's total was? Lane Norton's total
17 something.
1780, and that's weighing 226 pounds. Totally respectable and
Very
will
good, yeah.
win most meets anywhere in the country.
Right.
But for comparison, Taylor Atwood
Yeah.
weighed in at 162 pounds, and his total was 1736.
Yeah.
It was not even 50 pounds below Lane
Right.
Norton's. Like,
Right.
that is, on top of that being 60 pounds lighter. Like, that just shows it's not even, it's a different, it's
It
a
is
different
different.
game now.
Yes.
Like, it's not even the same thing.
Taylor Atwood really is impressive though too.
Yeah, he is in a league of his own,
Yeah.
without a doubt. Like when you and I know IPF doesn't use Wilks anymore, but when you sort by Wilks for the meet, Taylor Atwood did have the highest Wilks with 569. Russell Orey had 555. Ashton Ruska 551. Samantha Calhoun 550. So there's a lot. Most of the top 10 all float between 540 and 560 something.
Yeah.
So there's a fairly tight pattern there, but yeah, some really big performances. What was the first? Oh, you said Lane Norton.
Yeah.
You know, we said Taylor Atwood. The other big one, like I don't think this surprised anyone. Amanda Lawrence, you know, having
Right.
a 1351 total.
Yeah.
Like,
but that was her first national championship. She won
it
Worlds
really?
last year,
she wasn't
but
a
did
national
not.
champ?
No,
Really?
Daniela Mello was.
Oh yeah,
She was the
What was
national
it? Didn't they tie? But she won like on body weight. Was that what it was?
They
last year?
tied. Well, at Worlds they tied.
Oh, they tied at Worlds.
At
Okay.
Worlds they tied, but Amanda won gold at Worlds.
Oh, okay.
But so this is her. She won Worlds before she won Nats.
Wow. Before she took Raw Nats.
Yeah.
One, just because I'm starting to be out of the loop on USAPL people, I'd never heard, and I'm probably saying his name wrong, Jonathan Keiko. That guy's crazy strong at the 205-pound weight class with a 1914 total. Like, man, that's just, you know, a guy weighing 200 pounds, squatting 666, benching 509, and
Jeez.
deadlifting 738. Like, that's a good day, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so you got that, and then you have Dennis Cornelius, of course,
He
with
is back and won.
87-pound total.
He was after a little bit of a hiatus from.
Yeah, and kind of doing other federations, other
Yeah.
things. So yeah, he's right back at it. Heather Connor finishing up at the top again.
I think she maybe chipped like a deadlift world record.
I think
or
so. Yeah, and
something.
that was like a real grinder.
Yeah,
that was,
friend of the friend of the podcast. There's that was a thing that you say hers is a grinder that I saw some controversy that people thought the primetime lifters, you know, these big lifters were getting way more favorable calls than
was the judging a little looser maybe?
yeah, that the judging was much looser for the prime. Or Russell Orhe, for example, he missed 2 squats and came on his third.
Yep.
And I saw people saying that I don't know. I didn't even see the lifts close enough to know that.
I didn't either. Well, actually, the footage I saw was so bad you couldn't tell anyways.
Right,
But
right. You know who else was back? Johnny Candido.
yes, okay, that was.
Yeah.
I didn't know. You know, he has the very occasional YouTube video, but it's been
Yeah.
a while, and I know he'd mentioned for a long time like this was like a goal of his, and so I didn't know if he was actually going to be there or not, but he was, and he hit a 1624 total for a 500 Wilks. Like,
Yeah.
and when you look at it, 181 pound weight class, 584 squat, 363 bench, 694 deadlift. Like, that's a
And
really
that-
good day.
And that's Russell's class, right?
Yeah.
So what Johnny's was what 1640?
1642
And what was
Russell's
Russell's?
1826.
Yeah, so even there he's still
180 pounds. Like,
and at the time back when Johnny was competing before, he was juniors granted, but like he was so much more competitive back then than
it's just changed that much.
Right.
And yeah, Johnny 27. He's old at this point, man.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing. Everyone is like, with the exception of just a few. Wow. Okay. I did not know Taylor Atwood was 30. I thought for sure he was like some
25.
Young,
yeah.
Okay. That one's shocking. But looking at the top 10 list, these are the ages: 30, 24, 22, 28, 19, 22, 26.
Who is 19?
Austin Perkins in the 163 class with a 1670 total.
Really?
Wait, what? 161 pounds, squat 628, bench 370, deadlift 670.
Huh. Not bad
19
for a 19
years
year
old at 161 pounds. How? It doesn't even make sense to me. Amanda Lawrence, 22, 26, 39 for Dennis Cornelius. Wow, he's the outlier there. Heather Connor, 28. Bryce Lewis, 32. And then you go down, and it's pretty much 20. Like, it's such a young man's game here.
Yeah.
L.S. McLean is like the first person in their 40s, and if you start by Wilkes, he's number 26 on the list. Like, and then you got to go a long ways. I mean, almost no one is in their 30s even. So I guess moral of the story is you want to be competitive in the USAPL.
Be in your 20s.
Be in your 20s and just be naturally good.
Yeah.
Because you can't tell me you've been doing it all your life when you're 19 years old.
Right.
Wow, it just does not make sense. But yeah, Johnny Candido making a comeback. That's pretty awesome. Other performances, I'm sure if you guys cared about, I think Marissa Indo won another one.
Yeah, she did.
There was all types of good stuff going on. Ellis McLean doing his thing. The biggest shocker probably of the entire meet, Ray Williams performance.
Yes.
And it's getting weird.
Yeah, so he squatted like 880 and he benched 440.
Ray Williams squatted 880, benched 440, deadlifted 744.
So what were his squat attempts? Was 880 as opener or
squat 832 opener, 881 second attempt, missed 925 on his third.
Okay, so because the thing I heard people saying in defense of it was, well, that's all he needed to win. That's what he was doing to win. But that's true. He did win. But take squat, for example. He
was trying to do more than
right.
just win.
It's
like, oh, all right, I got what I needed to do. Shut it down. It's like, no, we're going to try for more.
I got what I needed. Let me go do this third squat and miss it on purpose how about bench attempts? What was it?
418, 440 he got. 462 missed.
Okay, right. And deadlift, what was? I don't even know. I'm just
deadlift 694, 738, and then a jump to 744. So obviously they saw the writing on the wall.
Right.
When you're when you have a 738 pound deadlift and you jump it by 6 pounds.
But those are all direct. At the Arnold in March, he squatted 1,080 pounds. I think. Right.
His total's down 400 pounds.
Okay, you go. Yes,
from his last total that he put together
in less than a year.
Yeah.
So he said that there's injuries. There must there's definitely something.
It is, and it's a weird injury when it
negatively affects everything across the board.
800 plus. You're injured, but you can still squat 800 plus, which is weird. But then you can still. I don't know. You can still. I can't quite make sense of it in my head.
Right.
I don't get what's going on there.
I'm curious what the injury.
I mean, to me, it would have to be a back thing because if you have a hammy, Tanner, you've benched just as much as he has in competition before. If you
absurd.
One, if you had a bad hammy, I mean, you wouldn't be squatting 881.
Right.
It wouldn't happen. But if you had a bad hammy, would a bad hammy knock 100 pounds off your bench?
I wouldn't think it would knock 100 pounds off. But like you said, maybe a bad back. It could affect all the.
But also, if you have a bad back, you would not squat 800.
Right. Yeah, that's what I think. Like if you're injured in your. Yes. Right.
So that's why you want to say, well, it couldn't have been that major of a leg injury because you're still pushing heavy weights. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. It's very odd. He's still down his body weight, looking at, he weighed in at 390. Worlds, when he bombed out at Worlds, he weighed in at 388. Everyone said he weighed 388 because he was very, very sick. For whatever reason, the weight hasn't gone back on. But his meets before that, you're looking at like 419, 412, 418. Yeah. So he's down 25, 30 pounds from where he has been historically. It's a weird thing, whatever's going on there.
Yeah.
Whatever's going, I don't know what it is. It'd be very interesting to see now when Worlds comes up.
Yeah, very interesting.
Actually, Worlds isn't until June. What will be interesting, the next meet will be the Arnold. That will be the interesting.
Or if he even does it.
That is a good point.
Because couldn't you see him now at this point not doing it?
Well, at this point, it'd be, what is the point?
Yeah, right.
Why even push it? It's something to watch there.
Yep.
We'll be paying attention.
For sure.
Tanner, we have ads to read.
Oh.
Big time.
It's the best segment of them all.
To read. Ready for this?
I'm always ready for ads.
I'm not quite ready.
Advertisements.
I need a little refreshment first.
Yeah. Clear the old speaking pipes.
Yep.
You got a lot of reading to do here.
I do that.
Just kidding. We have this memorized. You don't read it off of a...
All right, ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay. Today's show is brought to you by Lifting Large. Lifting Large is your one-stop online shop for powerlifters, strongmen, Highland Game athletes, CrossFit athletes, and anyone that lifts iron. They have over 2,100 training tools from the top brands like Titan Support Systems, ER Equipment, Spud Inc., Skull Smash, ProLock Collars, Kabuki Strength, Texas Bars, Pioneer Belts, and more than 15 other manufacturers. Lifting Large has been serving strength athletes around the world through their online store for over 15 years. Owners Mike and Teal Adelman have over 55 years of experience competing in powerlifting, strongman, and Highland Games. They hold multiple world and American records, so you can rest assured knowing the products they carry are the best in the industry. Visit liftinglarge.com today. There is free shipping on any orders over $60, and 99% of orders are shipped the same day they are placed. Listeners of the Massenomics podcast can save 20% on Lifting Large branded items. Just use discount code MASS20 at checkout. That's MASS20 at checkout to save 20% on Lifting Large branded items. Place your orders at liftinglarge.com, and you can follow them on Instagram at liftinglarge.com. That's liftinglarge, DOTCOM.
All right.
The Massenomics podcast is also brought to you by Spud Inc. and the washable hanging ab strap. The first ever Spud Inc. washable hanging ab straps are a game changer in the ab equipment game. No more stinky, grimy hanging ab straps that your gym members or you don't really use. Just take these straps and toss them into the wash, and they're like brand new. Made from breathable 2-ply material, these straps are comfortable and weighing in around a pound, fit in any gym bag. These hanging ab straps come with loops and spring clips that will fit most any power rack or pull-up bar. Washable hanging ab straps can be machine washed on gentle, but make sure to let them air dry. No, don't want to dry them too hard.
Right.
Check out Spud Inc. online for the washable ab straps and other great products at spud-inc-straps.com, and be sure to follow them on Instagram at Spud Inc. Straps.
I don't know what they're doing making them washable. I prefer my gym equipment to smell like hot, stinking, rotten garbage.
Yeah, they're kind of going against gym culture by making
it sanitary.
Something about the smell.
Yeah.
But, I think they're onto something there. So, Today's episode is also brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method. If you've been training without a coach and have been looking for a competitive edge, remember to check out hybridperformancemethod.com. Hybrid has 15 different strength and fitness programs covering everything from powerlifting and strongman to gymnastics and general fitness, all included in one training membership. That's not all. Hybrid also offers one-on-one personalized nutrition coaching that uses lifestyle habits and a flexible approach to shape your nutrition plan around your current lifestyle, instead of turning your lifestyle upside down in order to support unsustainable habits that only work in the short run the way most programs do. If ready to take your training, nutrition, or both to the next level, use code MASS in all caps for 5% off memberships to all programs for the life of your membership. Check them out at hybridperformancemethod.com. Thank you to our sponsors.
I like those sponsors.
They're good people.
They are good people.
They
are all good people. Mm-hmm. We can say that pretty honestly from our relationships with all of them. They are all good people.
Yep, they're the real deal.
Yeah.
Tanner, I think we have talked about... do you have anything else to add to the Raw Nats?
No, we pretty much covered all that natty nats.
Oh, the nattiness has been discussed.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I suppose if you're a USAPL fan, you pretty much have to wait until the Arnold to see the next craziness go down.
Yeah.
So that's it, world. You got to wait 4 more months. Right? 4 months?
Yeah, I think you're about right. November, December, January, February.
Yeah. March is here.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Be here before you know it.
Yep.
Well, Tanner, we are getting pretty far into the podcast here.
What kind of time do we have for what kind of segments at this point? Do we just
We're at like 50 minutes right now.
Ah.
Kind of waited a little while to read those ads.
Yeah. So we have time for who weighs more. Let's do who weighs more.
Yeah.
We might not get to do name that lifter this time. We'll do who weighs more.
Okay. That's
How's
fine.
that sound?
That works just fine.
We've got both in the tank, but I kind of want to do who weighs more this time. I have a relevant first contestant on who weighs more actually here. Now that I look at it, you first of all, before I get into it, you remember how to play who weighs more?
Okay, yeah, we should probably.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go from memory what I remember the rules being.
Yes.
Who weighs more? Tanner will hit me with a question of 2 different objects.
Yeah.
It's who weighs more, but it could be objects. He's going to give me
One's
2
usually
things.
a lifter.
He's going to give me 2 things. One's typically a lifter. One can be anything else that has weight to it.
Yes.
And I have to decide who weighs more.
Yes. So this first one, you're going to know, just from our recent discussion, you're going to know almost exactly how much.
Assuming I
this
can remember
first-
back
yes.
that far.
Who weighs more, Ray Williams or William the Refrigerator Perry?
Wow.
The fridge.
Yep. The
Fridge.
fridge.
You're familiar with
Yep,
the fridge.
I'm familiar with the fridge.
85 Chicago Bears.
I want to think he weighs more, but also the only reason I'm hesitant is I feel like people weren't used to like 400-ish pound people back then.
Right.
And that's why I even think, wasn't 300 pounds even kind of crazy?
1985. We're talking however many years ago that was.
30.
Yeah.
Just about.
Yeah, 35.
Yeah. 30. Yeah. I want to think in my mind that William the Perry fridge.
Yeah.
William
the refrigerator.
The refrigerator Perry weighed more. I'm going to say him.
So remember how much Ray weighs,
Like
right?
390.
Yeah, so I got 388 I think here, but 390. They have the fridge listed at 375.
Really?
So and maybe that, I could see
With his equipment on, he's probably 400.
Right. Well, and also they could have just lied like for his own sake, like, yeah,
We don't wanna
sorry,
let someone
we
think
know
there's
you
a
weigh
400.
420. We don't, but like that's a little embarrassing.
Okay.
So Ray Williams weighs more than William the Refrigerator Perry,
Okay.
at least by the numbers.
Okay.
I'm waffling on this one. Here's what we're gonna go with. John Hack. And once we finish this one, I will tell you what the alternative could have been.
Okay.
John Hack versus a newborn baby giraffe.
Oh. Wow. Okay. Are we talking John Hack weighed in at a meet? Hack?
John Hack weighed in at a meet.
I think he does cut some weight.
Yeah, he does. We'll say John Hack at a meet, so you basically know what he weighs.
Is it 189? Is that the
one?
class?
I think is.
Or well, yeah, 180. A newborn baby giraffe. God, those things are pretty big. Baby giraffe.
John Hack.
Really? God,
John
I'm
Hack
so
at
bad
181, average newborn baby giraffe, 130 pounds.
I suppose 181 would be a pretty big baby. Come to think about that, is a big baby, but
So it is John Hack. The alternative, we're going to look at, this is what someone had suggested, John Hack versus Danny DeVito.
I would also, God, he's so short though.
Yeah. He's like 4'10".
I want to think Danny DeVito weighs more, but I'm probably wrong. But I want to think he weighs more.
See, and the reason I didn't use it because there were so many
hard to
different
find an actual
answers.
weight.
The highest I saw was 195. In that case, Danny DeVito weighs more. The lowest I saw was like 145, and then I saw a lot in between, like 161.
Yeah,
so I was like, I can't really say.
Yeah. Well, it probably depends. Are you talking the Penguin Danny
Right.
DeVito?
Or are we talking?
Or It's Always Sunny Danny DeVito.
Right. Or twins.
Or twins Danny DeVito, yeah.
So we don't. That's inconclusive.
Yeah, yep,
That's
that
why
makes
we
it
had to
tough.
go baby giraffe. Last choice, or last one on who weighs more this week. Brandon Allen or the heart of a blue whale?
I mean, whales are big.
Yeah.
I don't have any comparison for that. I think Brandon Allen.
Brandon Allen, I've got 330 pounds.
Yeah. Seems pretty fair.
Anywhere from probably 300 to 360 even. The heart of a blue whale, 400 pounds.
No, really? God.
A 400-pound heart.
See, that doesn't seem possible.
Yeah, that's what they say. That's what
400-pound heart.
that's what the internet says. You were 0 for 3.
Wow, I was really bad today.
But
like that's what I
who's
was thinking.
gonna know how much-
Statistically,
yeah.
the other two were the lifters. The third one might not be the lifter, but a 400-pound heart doesn't seem real. So
yeah,
you played me, Tanner.
yeah,
You played me.
Played you like a fiddle.
Dang.
That's who weighs more, though. We'll see how the people.
That
do.
is the shot.
Yeah,
I mean, 130-pound giraffe. Sure, it's big,
Yeah.
believable.
yeah, a 400-pound heart.
It's a lot of heart.
Yeah, that's a lot of heart. That is a lot of heart. Okay, let's jump into underrated or overrated. We can't. It's not a podcast without that segment, is it?
No, it's not. Let's do it.
And now that I think about it, maybe I made this mistake again last week that I did not. We did not put them on the story last week to be able to compare it.
I think
but
you're right. I don't remember seeing
that's right. We'll have to do that tomorrow, but we will not review last week's. We will just jump right into this week's. For those of you that are a little bit unfamiliar or new to the podcast, I know there's always new people out there. You're going to want to know a little bit about the rules of underrated or overrated because it can be pretty complex. So just so you know, underrated or overrated consists of lightning round questions asked by myself to Tommy. The questions come from a variety of topics, including but not limited to pop culture, current events, food, technology. There's also lifting-related topics sprinkled in at times. It's important to remember that the questions are, in fact, lightning round, but the answers are not necessarily. Most importantly, Tommy has his druthers when it comes to the length of his answers. And you're familiar with the druthers? It means you just get to do whatever you want.
Very familiar with the druthers.
Yes. So topic number 1, underrated or overrated? Vaping. Underrated or overrated vaping?
Well, what makes it tough is I think everyone thinks vaping's overrated.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
It's catching a pretty bad rap right now. It's not rated very high.
it's not rated very high, but at the same time, from what I hear, kids freaking love vaping.
It's all the it's that bubblegum flavored.
It is the rage.
Yeah.
People love vaping. Like I got a buddy that does some coaching, and this isn't like high school age kids, like just out of high school. And he's like, every single one of the kids, like they're like sucking away on vapes, like their life depends on it. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was just like a dumb thing that people did kind of when they're like, oh, we're having some beers.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a vape pen. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, but no, vaping's way overrated because really all it is just the tobacco industry sticking its claws
Getting
right
you-
back into people
yeah.
any way they can.
Getting them young again.
Getting them young again, and people will be dumb enough to fall for anything.
Yeah.
Whether you package your tobacco in a vape, an organic combustible vape, cigarette, Tanner, or
Yeah. Combustible
yeah.
vape.
or it's just people. They're just tobacco and people nicotine.
Yeah.
They can't shake it, and
If it's not Joe Camel,
if it's not Joe Camel, I don't like it. And
it's some dank ass vapes.
exactly. But vaping, so overrated. So overrated.
Yes.
It's just so overrated.
Have you ever vaped much or?
I mean, I've taken hits off of a vape before.
I don't think I ever have.
Oh, I mean, I would say everyone should do it.
Yeah.
Everyone should know what it's
Yeah.
like. But I mean, it's not like
Son of-
like that's what you need to get you through your day.
Yeah.
Like, God, you got some problems, man. Vaping's so overrated. Just like smoking, I mean, they're about as lowly rated as you can get, and they're still overrated just because of the fact that there's still people that care about it a lot.
Yeah.
Like, do I think people shouldn't be allowed to do it? No, I think people should be allowed to do what they want.
Yes,
Doesn't mean
I
it's
agree.
not super overrated, though.
Right.
Just be smarter and don't do dumb stuff like that.
Overrated or underrated? Mongolian grill. But what do you know what I mean by
Yeah, like who hot?
Yeah.
And
Well, no. I mean, no, not that's not the right word. Where they go
Hibachi grill.
Hibachi grill.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
you go.
like-
Sorry, I meant hibachi grill. Overrated or underrated hibachi grill. We'll save Mongolian grill for another time. Overrated or underrated hibachi grill.
You know, it is a fun. Have you done one before, Tanner?
Oh yeah, twice.
Twice.
I did we have a new one in our town.
do have
and I
one
went
that
to
just
that recently as well.
How was your experience?
It's doesn't go very good sometimes when you bring little kids.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
So
all right,
that's
yeah.
I would say like that takes away from it a little bit. If you can go without
yes.
your kids, sometimes it goes better. But you answer first.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things where, like, if you definitely are going like regularly to hibachi where they're doing all the tricks, you're probably a pretty weird person. Like, if like the onion volcano is like hitting your brain like it's the first time every time, like you're kind of strange. I mean, you're really strange. Like, so it has a certain novelty, and for the novelty to be there, you have to give it some space.
Yeah.
And that's not a space that comes with visiting the hibachi grill and letting the hibachi van cook for you every month. Even every other month is too much. I would even say maybe more than a couple times a year is too much.
To me, like once a year is about the right.
That's what I was going to say.
That's the sweet spot.
I was going to say I do believe once a year is the sweet spot. With that being said, I think if you went with a group of your adult friends, you know, you maybe in my mind, and this is pretty much how every time I've ever
have
done
some
it.
of that yum sauce.
You have a few beverages before you go, and everyone's kind of a little loose and having a good time, and then you go and you're ready for a show to take place in front of you. And this show just so happens to include food as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a spirit lifter right there. That gets the people going. So now you're out with your buddies. You have food. You have drink. You have a little show. You know, people are being
broccoli
a little
flipped into your mouth.
You get to do the thing in the one meme where the guy sits there. You know what meme I'm talking about?
Yeah.
One of the best memes.
Yeah.
And I think if you're going like once a year, it's underrated. It's a great time. If you go regularly, though,
that is weird.
we can all agree that it is overrated if you're going routinely, and you're really weird if you're
It depends quite a bit on your chef. Like,
and the chef does.
Chef makes or breaks it.
It is a performing art, so it does depend on the chef for sure.
Have you been to our new one?
I haven't done the hibachi, but I've gone in for like sushi and that stuff.
It is funny to think of someone going there like once a month to do
and just like sitting there clapping and having the
like,
time of
weren't
their
you here
life.
last Tuesday?
He's up, man. It's still just an onion volcano.
So what did you say?
I think it's underrated. I think hibachi is still underrated. As long as you don't abuse your powers.
Yeah, that's a
Use
key
discretion.
Key point. Yes, it's kind of expensive.
It kind of is, but at the same time, I mean, the time
Also
I haven't done the one.
Shitload of butter.
I was gonna say I haven't done the one here, but the times that I have done it, I've thought it was a pretty decent chunk of food.
Yes,
I mean it's a lot of rice.
Yeah,
it's a pretty good amount of meat.
Yeah,
veggies. It's a decent meal for going out to eat.
It is. Yes,
you know,
I agree. It's also weird though. Sometimes like the order of that you get the food in and like the timing. I don't want my vegetables last. Like,
like this part's cold.
Yeah,
this part's hot. But,
yeah.
But
still, you said
underrated.
Underrated. Okay, underrated or overrated? Which one next? South Park. I don't think we've done this before.
I don't think we have. I do believe that South Park is under. We do talk about it. I do believe South Park is underrated. They are one of the few shows out there that still, you want to say keeps it real, but I don't think they're like pandering to a lot of audiences. They're not. They're like, we're gonna do our thing, take it or leave it. They're not like, oh, it's not like a writer sitting down. At least I don't think that it's writers sitting down like, what can we do we need to create an award-winning show. What can we do? Like, it's like, no, they're going to do their thing. And at this point, I think they're going to just do their thing forever.
Yeah.
And the fact that they can make timely episodes, they're usually offering some very timely critique of modern society and what's going on.
Yep.
And usually they're addressing a lot of things that most people don't even want to go near or too afraid to.
Right.
Because
Trey
of
Parker and Matt.
Yeah.
Stone,
with the fear that, people will lose their funding, their sponsorship if they actually had a backbone and took a stand on certain positions and what's happening in the world. So I do think South Park's underrated, and those guys they're super underrated too. I mean, they're like geniuses when it comes to like their comedy and all that stuff. And I still think it would be really cool to see a live performance of the Book of Mormon.
Oh yeah,
I would love to. I years ago, like when it was big, I bought the album and like listened to the whole thing. It's like, oh, this is kind of cool, and I'd love to see the performance. But everything they do it's pretty
good. Yeah,
they're the real deal.
I always liked South Park. Like even since like the 90s when I was in junior high. And what I would say about it is I feel like that show evolved as I evolved.
Well, it had, because at first it did just kind of sort of started just kind of dumb humor.
Yeah, but when I was 12, that was really funny.
Well, yeah, and that's exactly what it was. Yeah. And
so like people that are about our age, like the show really did I loved it then and I like it now.
Yeah, and it did start adding in like modern and current events. And, like
and at this point, by the time in your 30s, it's like it's about like the show right now is about like political issues going on in the world, political issues. And
they're really. I mean, I've seen people complain that they're too moderate on issues. Like, I wouldn't say that they're just bashing conservatives.
No.
And I would also say that they're like just on the liberal side either.
But that's the thing about South Park that everyone says that it's what makes it okay is because they bash everyone.
Everyone, yeah.
Like that's what like they can get away with it because they make fun of everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do, and it's I just they're good stuff.
Yes.
That being said, though, I do need to watch. I have not been keeping up on current episodes.
It's a lot of Randy Marsh, Tagrity Weed.
Randy Marsh.
But actually, the opening song, it's not even going down South Park. It's like this Tagrity Weed.
Really?
Yeah, it's like, you have to see. You have to watch it. Yeah.
Do some work here.
Yes. Last topic for the day: overrated or underrated? Wikipedia.
Wikipedia is underrated, without a doubt. Underrated. Do you ever? Okay, I shouldn't say do you ever. Everyone has been guilty of like you go there for one thing and you just go down the rabbit hole of Wikipedia where you're just there forever. But no, Wikipedia is super awesome, and it always gets annoying when someone's like, "Well, where did you hear that from?" Or "Where'd you read that?" And it's like on Wikipedia. Well, okay. It's like, well, all right. Let's be real here. Like, it's not like this thing's just this site where people are just posting whatever,
right?
And usually when stuff's wrong, it's wrong. Like, and also when the facts are on there, a lot of times you can find where that fact is sourced from too. But I think Wikipedia is way underrated. In fact, I am probably one of the few people I feel like. Obviously, there's a lot of people that do, but I don't know many. When Wikipedia has their donation, I have no problem hitting the donate $10 every year when that pops up.
I've never done that before.
I always do it because
because you use it all the time.
I use it a decent. I actually think
everyone uses it.
Everyone does.
Everyone uses it.
Like off the top of my head, I'm like, I don't feel like I've been on there much lately. But then, now that I think about it, I was just on there the other day.
Is it like when I was in high school? Even still, Wikipedia was the thing, and and when you're writing your papers, it's like, well, you can't use Wikipedia as a source, and it's like, is it almost past that? To when is it going to be like? Yeah, you can.
That's a good question. And it's been so long since I wrote a paper.
Yeah.
I don't know what the rules on that are.
But shouldn't it almost be? Don't you think it's almost there where it's like, go ahead and use it because it's accurate?
Yeah.
Like when do we?
I get okay.
Yeah.
Don't use it for citing sources for whatever's going on with Trump right now. People might be attacking that article
right.
on both sides to not be accurate. But if I want to know something about.
How much is this heart of a blue whale?
Or maybe something about Julius Caesar.
Yeah.
I would think it's probably about as accurate as you get right now.
Right.
So I don't know what the rules are on using it. It seems like it should be cool, but
I'm sure those teachers out there are still like
them old school teachers will just ruin everything,
They know how to ruin a good time, don't they?
They certainly do. But Wikipedia, for sure, underrated. And if people have a problem with that, then I got a problem with them.
That's right. Damn right. That was the last topic. And of course, that means that's the end of the podcast, essentially. Except for talking about our stuff. We always have to talk about our stuff now.
Yep.
Sometimes we just don't talk about our stuff enough, and that's a problem.
We probably never talk about it enough, to be honest.
I don't think we could talk about our stuff too much and how expensive it is. But speaking of our stuff, you can head over to our store on our website, massenomics.com/shop. Is that the right slash?
Say slash. I don't know.
Is it a backslash or is it a slash?
I always think it's a forward slash, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, it's a forward slash.
It's a slash.
Yeah.
It's whichever one
It's
you would press on
slash.
your keyboard
it's
without thinking
there's
about
one,
it too hard.
You don't even realize there's one that's
It's not that one that you're not sure where it's even at.
there's one that's much more annoying to hit.
Yeah.
The backslash.
Okay.
Yeah.
So regular slash shop. And you can buy all of our stuff. We basically have everything right now. You can buy the Bench 315 shirt as purchased by Dave Tate. If that's not like incentive enough.
Well, if that's
Dave
not an endorsement, I don't know.
Tate says it's okay. And like he notoriously like doesn't like stupid stuff. So it's obviously not stupid stuff. It's a good thing.
It's the real deal.
And all of our other
Now
shirts.
we're gonna look really dumb when he buys it and makes an example.
And
saying,
he burns
this is
it.
The worst
He's
shirt
like-
I've ever seen.
He makes a long IGTV of like
an IGTV of him just sitting there burning it just to make a point of he wanted there to be one
This
less
is
of them out
crap.
there. Oh man, we're gonna feel really dumb then.
Tommy's wearing the new Crispy Boy shirt. I don't have one of those yet, but the more I see you and others wear it, I really want to wear it.
It's quite nice.
Yeah, I do like
And
that
the
one.
comfort level is
I'm wearing the good old Bench Heavy shirt, one of the fan favorites still.
tried and true.
Don't Curl and Me flag behind me. All of our shirts are there. Everything's there. You can also sign up for our newsletter there. You can send us money at getbig@massenomics.com or business inquiries.
We're always open to business inquiries.
Yeah, if you want to ask us about our business or just inquire anything.
Inquire about anything at all.
You can do it at getbig@massenomics.com. Subscribe on YouTube, like us on Facebook, and I want to tell you about our sponsors one more time today. Today's episode was brought to you by Spud Inc. The goal of Spud Inc. straps is to make products that support sports performance and help everyone achieve their training goals. They make products that last forever, won't bust your budget, and most importantly, they leave no doubt about success when everything is on the line. Check them out online at spud-inc-straps.com. This episode is also brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method. They're your one-stop shop for all things fitness and online coaching. Whether your goals are training related, nutrition and body composition related, or both, Hybrid has a program for you. With dedicated and experienced coaches in each strength and fitness discipline, you can rest assured that you're in the best hands possible. Use code MASS, M-A-S-S, in all caps for 5% off any training or nutrition memberships for the life of your membership. Visit hybridperformancemethod.com. Today's show was also brought to you by Lifting Large. Lifting Large is your one-stop online shop for powerlifters, strongmen, Highland Games athletes, CrossFit athletes, and anyone that lifts iron. Visit liftinglarge.com today. There's free shipping on any orders over $60, and 99% of those orders are shipped the same day that they are placed. Thank you to those sponsors and for having the word iron in there so I can say it a couple times an episode and always wonder if I'm saying it oddly. That's it, except for what our IG handles.
The IGs.
Yeah, what do you got over there on
Find
the
me
IG?
at Tomahawk_D.
And you can, of course, follow the official Massenomics Instagram page at Massenomics. That does us for episode 186.
Yes.
See you next time for 187.
Later.